guys, I know it's been so long since you've seen my beautiful face, but it's just like with the time schedules, the constraints that I have, especially with school, balancing my recording and stuff and other stuff in my life, it's very hard to really like plan out when to like actually record a video, and not to mention my siblings are noisy as hell. They're literally in the other room, chit-chatting as we speak, so thankfully they're quiet right now. So sorry for the wait. So as you can probably see in the title right now, I'm basically gonna be continuing my making the album kind of series. Um, this video is more focused on more of like the setup, like how it's actually like what I do and when I record, like how do I make it all happen basically. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting part. Okay, so kind of backtracking to my first album, PG-15. The setup was very minimal to almost none. It was literally getting my iPod, putting it on the like the arm rest of the couch, elevating a little bit so like the speaker, which is where the mic is, and like near the camera area, it's where basically the two mics are, could like hear me clearly, and just literally Chromecast the instrumental onto the TV and just sing karaoke kind of. Basically, it was all live, right? It was very live, and although it's very efficient, you get the whole song done in one take. It's very exhausting. It's very exhausting and frustrating too, because you have people walking around the house. Because I don't live by myself, I live with my family, okay? I'm not complaining about that, but it's just our house is kind of noisy sometimes. My siblings make a lot of noise, as I've said before. And that was a big that was a big thing that I really had to deal with. Like if they were in the noise, if they cried, if they I don't know what they were doing, but they made noise that I could hear and it just felt distracting. I think the whole take was ruined. Even if it was good, like I could try covering it up, but there's only so much you can do, right? And another thing is it's just tiresome to your voice because to sing a whole song, each part, every like individual, like of course it's fine doing it once or twice, but when you have to do it like 8 times, 10 times, because you keep messing up the take, whether it's one small part where you're really like it's so bad, right? You have to redo the whole thing, and that was very exhausting to me. I'm so thankful that I was able to do the whole album that way, but for now it's much better now. My setup has changed since then. Um, the second setup, which was kind of more innovative, I would basically download the instrumental, so I didn't need the TV anymore. I didn't have to like get more of a live sound, because the issue with live sound, it's very you could it sounds live. It doesn't sound official. It doesn't sound clean. It sounds like you are basically singing and the phone is right there. Like it's very primitive. That's what I kind of saw. It's very primitive, and by downloading the instrumental, first of all, it makes at least the instrumental clear, but the vocals were still live, and I got actually good demos at the time being, but when I was reviewing them, comparing it to like official songs, like actual songs that you hear on the radio, I'm like, yeah, people will tell the difference, and I don't want to sound like very like what's the word like it's okay not to sound like everybody else, but just sounding fully live with it like an instrumental, it just sounded kind of odd. It was like an odd blend, and I changed that setup quite quickly. I actually did a few covers. I think my first cover I did that was "I Lie," and I think the last cover that I did with that method was I think "Right Here Waiting." Yeah, I think that was the last cover I did for that method. I did a few covers and I thought those were actually good. Like the vocals were much more clear because I don't have to like stand away from the phone. I can like be closer. But it was just hard, right? And I think that kind of like thing kind of slowly led to my current one, which I'll talk about soon. My third recording style, I actually moved to my basement. Still basically downloading instrumental and still like using my phone as the main mic. I didn't have a mic at the time, and basically, I found like this shelf. We have this shelf in like this closet area in my basement, and basically leveled it up to my mouth, and basically like just listened to the instrumental, just sang from there. And this was more efficient because now I could do the recordings in pieces. I didn't have to do a full take. I could like stop recording and then move on to another part of the song and redo it. And I think that's what makes recording easier for an artist, is if you can do it in pieces, because doing in pieces ensures that you don't have to do the full thing over and over again. And like some songs are just tiresome to do over and over again. Like the high vocal ones, like this album I'm working on, is trying to like kind of bring up my vocals a bit, and it's just tiresome. And although it worked for like a little bit, I didn't get any good demos from this. This is the one thing I didn't get any good recordings, any salvageable. Another thing about the basement is it's the basement. There's vents. There's a lot of air moving around. I didn't have mufflers, and there was a fish tank literally right outside of the closet thing, and you could hear that in the background, and I just didn't want that. I really didn't want that. And then now we go to my basically what is this? My fourth recording process, which was basically my night. I call it my nightstand recordings. It's literally I got my nightstand. Like my nightstand's right over there, my bed. I can't show it to you because it's just a mess right now. And then I have like this platform charger, and I basically put the phone there, and basically we're because now I have a phone now. Like before I used my iPod, and now like I got my phone like November or whatever, and that actually rhymes. Okay, anywho, yeah, like the speakers is where usually where the mic is, and there's a little like a mic near the camera, and I levitated it, not elevated it, and I didn't stand. I couldn't stand, of course, because it's this low. It's very low, and I basically was kneeling on the ground recording it with my, and that actually was actually a good process because now I felt more comfortable. I didn't have to like stand for like minutes and minutes and minutes and have to sit down all the time. Like it was more efficient, but when you're kneeling, it just your voice is not the same, of course, as if you were standing because you feel more mobility, right? Um, During the nightstand actual phase, I actually changed my recording software. Like I use a different recording software right now than compared to my PG-15 album, which I use an app called Spire, and now I use a thing called Soundtrap, which is so good, guys. I really do recommend you guys use Soundtrap. It's you don't have to pay premium. Unfortunately, it does kind of limit your abilities. But if you just want to record, if you just want to mix well, Soundtrap is good, and it's free too. And they actually updated it so you can do like as many projects as you want. Before it could be I think only 5, but now you can do whatever, and it's so awesome, you know. And I Soundtrap, if you're watching, thank you so much. I'm sure other people are starting their accounts very soon if anyone is actually watching this. But yeah, it offered more abilities. I could do more. I could play around with vocals. I could do around with filters, and there was more editing. You know, my nightstand recording process did pretty good. I actually got a few good demos. I actually got my first official demo done on my thing, and I was going through a rough time at the time. And actually, like the first cover, like the first song that you actually heard from me was a cover. It was called "You're Not Sorry," and that was the first song that I officially used the nightstand recording process, and I thought it was pretty good. I actually liked that. Um, I got, I think, how many songs did I get from? I got only 3 covers done. I got "You're Not Sorry," "DNA," and "Soulmate." Those were the only 3 songs, and for the time being, those were the good covers. Like those were the best covers I'd ever done, leading up to that point, because as you slowly improve what you will basically do, it shows. It really does show. Like looking back, I look at my old covers. I'm like, oh, I could have. I sound very like bad. It sounds more clear. It sounds more clean, right? And I think every artist has room for improvement, and this was where I was basically improving. I'm proud of that. The nightstand phase was good, but basically, for my birthday, I got a mic, and this is what the mic looks like. I know it's so good. I'm so blessed that I was able to get the mic. I'm so thankful that my parents got it for me. Like it's been something that I really wanted for like the longest time. It's made things so much more easier. I cannot tell you how much easier it is. It was hard to basically uh, work it out for time being, but I'll discuss that basically how it did. So basically, we have the most recent recording process, which is my desk. Like my laptop is on my desk, and here's actually a time lapse video of me actually in my setup, so you can kind of see how it kind of works out. So this is what my studio kind of looks like right now. The mic is there, it's settled. The pillows act as sound absorbent. I use my closet door as a bit of an extra wall. I sit here, and the cord runs, and I'll plug my earphones there, and I record, set up, and mix from here. But this is where I mainly record. This is my recording booth area. But as you can see in the little video, it's very easy to like dismantle, and so I can use this desk for other stuff like school and etc. As you can see, the blanket is still intact. I was doing some demos earlier, so that kind of explains that. And if you saw in that video, I was able to make like a booth. I could make, although it's not official like sound absorbers, pillows and blankets still work just as fine. I've seen videos of Justin Bieber and rock bands just use mattresses and blankets and just like you don't have to have like a fancy studio setup. Anything that works for you and that is like yes, you need to kind of invest a little bit, but like at your own pace, right? Like at the time when I was 15 and getting a mic, I was like, I guess I was kind of nervous when asking about that because like I don't know, I just didn't know how. It was more of a hobby. I was just like, I don't want to ask for too much, right? And I'm a very humble person. I really don't like asking for anything. But seeing as I'm making this new album, I really want to make it the best it could be. So that's why I had to ask for like a mic this time, and so thankful that I have it right now. And yeah, it's made things much more easier. Quick note that if you're getting like headphones or earphones, make sure that the mic is very far from where your setup is, or just use analog ones that don't have like interference because that can really like pierce your ears if they're too close because the interference. Like even now, my mic has to be away from the computer because it does cause interference when recording. So just a side note. That's basically my recent setup, and it's been a dream working with it. As soon as I got like how to like work it out, how it should be, I was really able to make great things out of it. And it's been awesome. Like I'm still practicing with it. I'm not like I can't say I'm a professional with this cool mic or anything, but it's worked out. I mean, I released my first song using the mic called Sitting Duck in August. And that was basically the first song that basically used this mic that I had wrote, and from what I've seen, it's done pretty well, and like
When it comes to like recording, like during my setup, it takes a while. I could be at the computer for like an hour, like maybe 2 hours max, like just editing, doing takes over and over again, because like you have to really make it like the best it could be. And there are different phases in recording. There's phase one. I call this the demo phase. It's basically just feeling the song out, so I could basically know how the song would sound like when it's finished. And basically, when I'm listening to the demo, I'll be like, okay, I'll that could sound nice if I added this, or maybe oh no, that word doesn't sound right, so I'll switch it out in the lyrics. The demo phase is more of just a trial run, so I could basically feel the song out and see what needs to be worked on. You're just another hater ring to watch me crash and burn, bring me up. The second one is the root vocal phase. It's basically when the demo is deemed good enough that is now a root vocal. The root vocal is basically the bare song, no extra backing vocals, nothing. It's just the bare song. If you were to trim it, take out the instrumental a cappella, it should still sound like the full song, and that's basically the root vocal phase. It is the evolved form of the demo phase. So you keep doing demos until you reach a good root vocal, and that's why the demos take it's the longest phase, because it takes a while for it to reach the root vocal. And once the root vocal, it's just maybe a matter of editing out like certain sounds, making sure it's all like smooth and out, it's all right, it fits with it blends with the instrumental right. That's really what the root vocal phase is. Listen, give you a shot of your own medicine. Watch you react and maybe crack a laugh, but I know I can, cause I'm not you. And I don't want to. The last phase is the more, I call this kind of the accessory phase. It's basically the add-on. It's when you add on backing vocals, sound effects, trimming, making sure everything sounds all nice, all finished. So when it's finally done, it's the finished product. And this is kind of a weird phase because since I don't have any backing vocalists with me, I really have to like change my voice to achieve like little harmonies here and there. And let's just say it's weird if you heard it outside my room. I wish I could teach you a lesson, give you a shot of your own medicine, watch you react and maybe crack a laugh, but I know I can't, cause I'm not you. And I don't want to be like you know. So yeah, that's pretty much kind of how I record, and it's not that hard to do actually, but it does take a lot of time and takes a lot of effort to do, of course.
So although I had some phone songs, which is basically the songs that I did not do with the mic, but the phone songs are basically what I call them phone songs, like the phone demos from my nightstand sessions. Those ones still work because although the sound is slightly different because it's using relying on the phone mic is still like pretty good. It's not the best, but it still worked out, and just a few editing can easily fix. Like I had already I think 5 songs songs. I had 5 songs done during the nightstand sessions, and they like I'm like I don't really want to like ruin that because it sounds great to me. Like they came from because I was going through kind of a tough spot basically with in my own life during that time when I was writing doing the nightstand sessions, and those songs really came from my heart and it was very personal, and you could really feel I could really feel the emotion that I put into it. So I really don't want to kind of replicate that because I think that kind of feels a little more fake, right? And I'm going to keep them that way. Like when you're listening to the album, you might notice that some songs sound slightly different from the others. That's because they're from the nightstand sessions, which I've just edited so it's not too obvious. Because the issue with the phone mic is it doesn't have a great capacity. There's a term called what was it? It's when like the sound is too high for the mic that it starts cracking. I forgot what the term is. There's a term for that. It's, it's it's I'm just gonna call it spike. It caused very sharp, like the especially the S consonant. Like this mic is more like it holds a better capacity, and I could really edit it here. But on the phone, it was very uncontrollable. And looking back on the demos, there's a lot of very sharp sounds, and I'll try my best to like soften them out for you if they do make it on the album. So don't worry about that. But I'm just saying like sometimes you just have to keep what you have and just be like thankful for what you have because those songs were very personal. And I just don't want to like redo them. Any independent artists out there, I'm just gonna say my advice when it comes to setup and stuff: do what works for you. Like, don't feel like you have to like be what people expect. Don't don't expect too much from people because not everyone will like your stuff. Not everyone will necessarily like want to listen to your music, and that's fine. It's fine. Everyone has different tastes, but just know that slowly by slowly you'll hone in on your craft, and I think that's what I did with my new album. I still have a long way to go, a lot of improvement, but like setup wise, I think I've grown from my first album. So yeah, guys. So I think this is pretty much the end of the video kind of setup. There's not very much to say. I kind of basically dove into everything that I could think of. If I do come up with anything that I feel like I missed out on this video, I'll definitely add it to my upcoming can't speak face exercises. That feels so wrong. um okay, yeah, I'll put in my next video. My next video will probably talk about more of my I don't know, it's either going to talk about my first album or basically my writing process. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I hope y'all enjoyed my video. Please tell your friends if you also want to see this video because I'm really trying to grow on this channel. But yeah, it's been great, and I hope I see you all later. So yeah, bye for now.